Hi, I'm Matt Donovan here and welcome to Talking Change. Today on the show, our very first episode, so super excited. I've got an amazing friend of mine, Wadzi from Herconomics. It's great to have you here. Thank you for coming over to cook a bit of food with us and have a bit of a chat about your journey.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be good. We're going to cook a chicken cacciatora with a buckwheat, I guess kind of vegetable salad kind of thing, basically. I don't know
awesome. Whatever that is.
What the correct term is. So for those of you out there, Wadzi is the founder of Herconomics. Her role is basically to empower women into financial independence. So an amazing cause, an amazing social enterprise, and really, really great to have you here. Yeah. Now, apparently she's a pretty bad cook, so we're about to find out.
I'm pretty average.
No, she'll be fine, absolutely fine. So we're going to get you on the knife.
Okay.
We're going to get started prepping some of the food.
Let's do it.
So let's get into it.
All right.
Awesome. So the first thing we're going to do for our is just chop a whole heap of veg into rather large chunks.
Okay, good. I'm glad they're large chunks.
Large chunks. We don't have to worry about them. I'll just keep.
They don't have to be fine.
I'll just keep popping any seeds or anything like that. Just pop them into the sink. That'll be fine.
That's all right.
So when did you start Herconomics?
Okay, so I started Herconomics like about end of 2015.
Yep.
And to be honest, when I started, it was very vague. I just knew that I wanted to do something to, empower women or to help them be financially empowered, but I didn't really know what exactly that meant or what that was supposed to be. So I just started a social media kind of thing, like Facebook, Instagram, and all I did was just have posts. I just posted articles and stuff like that I found that I thought would educate women and also get them interested in learning about their finances more. Yep. And so I started doing that, and then as I guess time went on, I got some idea of maybe where I wanted to go around, maybe doing events and also setting up like a Facebook kind of group where women can talk about money openly with each other. So one of the things I have access to is that I work in the financial services industry. I've worked there since 2006. So I've got access to a lot of amazing professionals, right? Who can really help the ladies. So in different subjects like superannuation, retirement, property, even things like pay rise, negotiation, and stuff like that. So I decided to take advantage of that and actually just bring all these different professionals to talk to women about different subjects.
So that's basically the events.
So that's how I started, right?
Okay.
So things have evolved a little bit, but that's how I started. And I also started being asked to talk at women's events as well. So I started doing more like speaking engagements as well, which was great. And then my brand, I guess, started to grow a little bit just through the Herconomics Sisterhood group that I have on Facebook. And then also the events that I was speaking at and the events that I was running as well. So that was the beginning.
That's the beginning. Yeah. And how many events have you held now?
Oh, good question. I haven't really counted them, but I'd say probably maybe 10 or so.
Okay, fantastic. And how many, what's the usual, I guess, turnout?
So I actually really like intimate numbers because one thing that I've realized over the years that a lot of women, and also from feedback from the ladies, they find large gatherings really intimidating. So when you think about talking about something like money... I'll
tell you how to do this in a second.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see
talk about money.
Let me put this in the pan. Keep talking. Just wait for that fennel.
All right, I will wait for the fennel. But so when you think about, big crowds, they're overwhelmed, they're intimidated. So I decided to try and cap it at like 40 to 50 at the most. So that's like the usual number is around maybe 20 to 50 ladies, depending on the subject. So
obviously a few hundred women out there that have benefited greatly from
Oh,
what
yeah.
you guys are doing. And
Yeah.
how many people in the Facebook group?
So the Facebook group, there's about 900 ladies.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I know,
awesome.
it's exciting. And yeah, no, it's great. And the funny thing is that sometimes you don't get, some of the ladies are really shy, so they don't really interact that much.
Yep.
But they send messages to me about, oh, thanks so much for this and that, and I've actually started doing this. So I get to know that there's actually
There's
something going
happening. Yeah.
on, which is fantastic.
Amazing. I imagine there's probably a lot of interesting stories, and you may or may not hear them from the women, but do a lot of them come from a background of basically struggling? Is that?
Yeah, so to give you an idea of why I even started this in the first place, so I'm originally from Zimbabwe in Africa, so I grew up there.
Just going to turn this down.
And I came to Australia when I was 18 to do my studies. And so when I was growing up, when I grew up, I remember seeing a lot of women who didn't have choices because they either didn't go to work, so their husbands were doing all the working and making money, and some of them were in domestic violence situations. And because of that, like my own female relatives, they would, be in situations, they would run away from the husband, and the people would be like, where are you going? You can't take care of yourself and the kids. You have to go back. And they'll go back. So I saw that lack of options and choices. And I also saw the opposite, because my mom, she was a nurse and she had a career. And I saw some other female relatives as well who were the opposite of that. So I saw the power of being able to take care of yourself financially and how it opened up so many opportunities for women. But so I decided, even as a kid, I was like, that's not fair. I would love to, first of all, I don't want to be that way. I want to be empowered, but I also want to create an opportunity for women to also empower themselves. You've got ladies of all types, either from migrant backgrounds, so some of them come from really very culturally difficult situations in terms of actually trying to, look at me, can I do it? Yes, I did. What's wrong with you? Okay, there you go.
I definitely loosened it.
I know, you're losing it. So, so you've got, lovely, migrant ladies who've come from really difficult situations in terms of it's hard for them to make money, like to have jobs in the first place, but also to even start businesses and things like that. So, and then you've got Aussie ladies who just really don't have much confidence in even taking care of their finances, because it's funny how they're all professional. Some of them, they're working. You would think that they're confident, and but then, what's happened in the generation past can be passed on. Oh, that looks good.
Can be into passed. That one as well.
Yeah, I can. So what I've realized with a lot of ladies, even though they're now working and they're making money, they still saw, maybe their moms or their grandmothers, and they didn't have much to do with growing their wealth or being empowered. So that is rubbed off on them, and they actually don't take action in terms of their finances, and that can cause problems for them even if they're working. So there's certain things that they need to do that they don't do because they're not confident enough. So it's been a mixed bag of young and old, and of migrants and Australian born as well.
So, fennel, definitely one of my favourite vegetables. Absolutely love it. And the tops are awesome. So we want to use all of it. We won't use all of it in the dish, but we want to save it. So we want to take the top off.
Okay.
So it sounds incredible. Obviously, and much needed out there in the community, which is awesome.
Definitely needed.
So I guess my question, obviously you've got a finance background. Why did you choose a social enterprise model to set up Herconomics? Like, what was the initial thought around that? And then explain to me how your social enterprise kind of works in that scenario, and how you give back.
So my interest in the social enterprise model had to do with, because I'm passionate about business, right? Like I believe business can definitely make a difference. And I believe that's a good model to have, to use, to have a sustainable business and grow it and give back in some way. But I also wanted the impact to be just as important as the profits.
Yep.
So I feel like a social enterprise model is very much focused on that. So it's there's obviously different. There's like for-profit social enterprises and not-for-profit social enterprises. But one thing that is relevant or most important about social enterprise, that social impact, the change that you want to create is very much a very important part of the equation. It's like at the forefront together with profit. So that's why I wanted that to always be at the back of my mind, that I'm trying to create an impact, and that has to be front and center together with the profit as well. Do it like by giving maybe 50% of the profits or money that you generate to organizations or things like that will make an impact, or to projects that will make an impact, or it can be more in build. So in my case, it's kind of evolved to be two-pronged. So I do certain kind of financial education for not-for-profits, but also for social enterprises or not-for-profit social enterprises, focused on educating women there on a free level, like for free.
So
but
you've got paid events and free events.
So there's some events which I do, and then of course there's also whatever profit I do make, 50% of that does go to an refugee and migrant women's empowerment organization.
Okay. If you don't mind, what's the name of the organisation?
It's called Space to Be.
So when people are paying for events for you, half of the money is going to that.
So I'm planning to open or to start a digital magazine which highlights different ladies who are building wealth for themselves and for their families. And one of the things I want to do in that magazine is to highlight individual ladies from Space to Be and their businesses and what they're doing.
Awesome. So that's amazing.
Yay.
You do so good.
Thank you.
Very proud of you.
That's lovely.
For everyone else, we've got this marinated chicken thighs. So these have been marinated in a lovely Pinot Noir overnight with some bay leaves and some rosemary.
Yeah.
And we're going to use the liquid. So we're about to fry this off.
Okay.
So we're going to come over to the pan.
Yes.
So we've had in the pan, while you've been chatting away, I've chopped up all the bacon. Just had some leftover onion and leek, so use that with a bit of garlic, bit of seasoning and stuff. In this pan, you've kindly chopped up the fennel, beautiful capsicums, and we've got some pink onions, Spanish onions, whatever you want to call them.
Looks nice and colourful.
In there. Looking gorgeous, and then we've seasoned that up. So we're going to fry this off.
Okay.
And just reduce the alcohol out of it a little bit. So we'll get that up to a decent heat. We'll add in a can of tin tomatoes in a second. Just get that up. So we kind of want to reduce the liquid a little here.
Yeah.
That side of things. So it's all kind of forming the base for the Cacciatora.
Yeah.
Which the other day I realised it's called hunter's stew, apparently.
Hunters. Yeah, that makes sense. So for the hunters, before they go out to hunt.
That's right. So it's a big hearty stew.
It does look hearty.
Which is
very winter
beautiful
focused.
Winter.
Exactly. Perfect.
So which is gorgeous. So we're going to crank that heat up a bit.
Yeah.
And you've kindly done all this veg.
Yep.
I reckon actually we need some more oil. I know you put a lot in.
Yeah.
But we're going to roast all this veg. So this is for our buckwheat salad.
Okay.
So we just want to make sure it's covered. It's looking good. Beautiful. We'll pop this in the oven.
Okay.
We'll roast that off for about 20-25 minutes.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. Beautiful. Wadzi, so we've just added a little can of tomatoes and a bit of water.
Oh, smells good.
Everything's reduced down. It is looking absolutely beautiful.
It looks
Sort
amazing.
of thing. So what we need to do now is get our buckwheat.
Okay.
And I've been calling it buckwheat, but it's actually bulgur. Anyway, so this is coarse bulgur wheat.
Okay. I don't really know what that is,
Use
but
our llama. It's just wheat.
yeah.
It's not. You know, people call it an ancient grain and all that sort of stuff. But
It's wheat.
it's wheat. It's
Okay.
brown.
Yeah.
It's good for you. And
It's like brown
and
rice.
it's yummy. Effectively, it probably is pretty much like brown rice.
Yeah.
But it is so easy to cook. So we
Okay.
do that.
Mhm.
We get our boiling water.
Yep.
And roughly we do that. And that's it.
Okay.
It's cooked.
What? It just cooks in
that's it.
boiling water?
We leave it for the time the stew's getting done.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
we'll,
Don't even have to put it on
once
the
the
stove?
veg is done, we'll,
Oh.
So I guess we'll just pop the chicken in here.
Mm-hmm.
Squash it down. If you could chop those olives, please, into thirds.
Into thirds.
Thirds would be lovely. I know that's very specific, isn't it? But obviously, if from a finance
Is this
background.
considered thirds? Is that
Well,
good
I didn't
enough?
say equal thirds, so yes, it is fine.
It is thirds.
It is thirds.
I'm like, I don't know if you want them. Oops.
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah.
If there's a seed, take it out. So I guess my big question to you, and one of the things I love hearing about is obviously doing amazing things, but if you could go back in time to when you first started,
Yep.
what's the one bit of advice you'd give yourself?
All right. So one of the biggest things and why it took me so long to just take action was I thought I needed to be so much more than I was. You know what I mean? Like I thought, I need to be a little bit more experienced. I need to have a lot more expertise. I need to have this to actually just start educating women.
Yeah.
It took me a while to understand that I already had so much just working in finance as I did. I was already well ahead in terms of, I just like massacred that, so sorry.
That's okay. Just don't chop off a finger.
Yeah.
That's
So
the main thing
I thought, I had to have so many things, so many rows or like ducks in a row type of thing. And that meant that I actually just didn't do a lot of stuff to begin with. It took
Is
me
that
a
a
long
lack
time.
of belief?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of
Place
people.
them wherever you want in the dish.
So you want me to just put them
Yeah,
around?
just put them around. We'll poke
So,
them in.
Do you know what I did? And I've seen this with a lot of other people who start things as well. They think that there's this need for kind of near perfection.
Yeah.
They're waiting for this. And I find it in a lot of women actually, where they need to have these things lined up so that they can just take that action that they need to take.
Yeah.
I actually had that happen. So one thing I actually have learned, right, is that first of all, just take that action. You learn from it, you grow from that, and just take the next one. And also have belief in yourself that there's somebody who is behind, who doesn't know as much as you do, no matter where you're starting from. And that person will get something from you where you are right now. You don't have to be 2 years in.
I love that. That's a really good point.
Yeah, so that actually stopped me from actually just doing certain things that I could have been doing for years already, which I only started doing in the last year because I just didn't have that belief in myself that I could offer that.
Is that a background thing where in a younger life that belief wasn't instilled, or
actually,
where do you think that might come from?
Actually, that's funny because it's the opposite. I actually come from a family where belief was very much instilled, as in my parents were just amazing. They just, like when I said, I want to just go to Australia, they were like, yep, we believe in you, you can do it. Like they just said, yeah, that's okay. And this is halfway across the world from Zimbabwe.
It's a big
far.
change.
So there was a lot of things. I was actually quite a go-getter.
Yeah.
I am a go-getter, that's just who I am.
Absolutely.
But I don't know, when it came to this, there was just this I think it came from my own insecurities about my own management of money.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, who am I to
like
tell anyone else?
I'm a fraud if I do this kind of scenario.
Exactly. So it was, I think I say to myself, I need to be at a specific point financially first before I can start telling women anything about finances or trying to help them deal with any of their finances. But then I realized I learned something that I have so much knowledge. Doesn't matter whether I'm doing it or not. I have knowledge that I can pass on to other ladies, which they can use and which they can help, which can help them. Another thing also that I really love is that I am with like the women I'm serving.
Yeah.
I am them, and that's the thing that they've actually really enjoyed. I've been very open with them and been honest about my own situation or my own issues that I've had and how long it took me to actually open up. Even though I was working in finances, knowledge doesn't mean behavior because your emotion and your mindset affects your behavior. You can know everything but not take action.
Absolutely.
So I've shared that with a lot of ladies as well.
Alrighty, we're going to let's get this in the oven because it does take about an hour and a half. They're looking really good. So what we're looking for is just a bit of char.
Yeah.
So it's starting to blacken off and cook up nicely.
Yeah.
We'll pop that in for another 5-10 minutes and
Yeah.
then we'll take it out. Beautiful. That veg is smelling absolutely incredible.
It is.
Let's
Everything is smelling
Let's get it out.
Let's do it.
But before I do that, I've got a job for you. So
Okay.
this will make a rather big difference. So you can use any type of vinegar that you got
Okay.
at home, but this is white wine vinegar
Okay.
and that sort of stuff. When the veg comes out, really important to hit it with the vinegar when it's got the heat because it'll suck up all the flavour.
Okay, sure.
Not a huge amount, otherwise
Yep.
it'll obviously get too vinegary, but just
Okay.
drizzle it all
Yep.
over. So you're in charge of that.
All right.
Jump out of the way because this will be hot. Oh, please, that's smelling good. Beautiful.
Alrighty. All right. So put
All
the
yours.
vinegar.
Yep. Drizzle it all over. That's it. A little bit more.
A little bit more.
A little bit more. And that is perfect.
Yep. All right.
We'll set it over here. We need it to cool down.
Yep.
And then let's have a look at our buckwheat.
Oh yes.
Buckwheat. It's still calling it buckwheat. It's bulgur. So just give that a bit of a stir. And it's just starting to absorb everything now, which is beautiful.
Yep.
So we'll leave that there.
Yep.
So the last bit of prep, and then we can actually sit down and have a wine,
Okay.
is we want to get some garnish ready for the
Okay.
end.
Yep.
So these are our little fennel stalks.
Mhm.
So I want you to pull them off.
Yep.
Get all of them off, and then we're going to chop them up finely
Okay.
on that side of things.
Sure.
That's beautiful. So what's next then?
A lot of ladies are not very comfortable with investing,
Okay.
and you know, some women have got money just sitting in the bank, or they feel
And they're obviously
intimidated.
losing money doing
It's
that.
losing, yeah. Inflation, you know, the
Especially at
cost
the
of
moment.
goods is just
Yep.
rising, and nothing is happening. So, I am actually going to start teaching a base, like a foundational share investing course for ladies,
Yep.
which will be starting in July, which
Amazing.
is just for absolute beginners. So a lot of ladies think that investing in shares needs you to be Albert Einstein. Really doesn't. And so I'm going to show them just how easy it is for
Yeah.
them to start in that, especially for long-term
Yeah.
wealth
And
gaining.
especially at the moment, such a good time to buy
It is
shares.
actually,
People buy them.
Yeah, because so it's so I'm going to be doing a lot more courses like that. Okay.
So we'll get this out, and now you can just finally chop all this up on
Okay.
this
So
board.
now they can get.
Look at this.
small.
How beautiful is this food?
That
And
looks
how
good.
lucky are we?
Yes.
Like this is just
This
phenomenal.
Is, yeah.
So it's been bubbling. Look at that. Oh my God.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That looks amazing.
Does not get much better.
Yep. All right.
We'll sit that there. So while you're doing that, I am going to add a little bit of olive oil.
Yep.
In. A little bit of pepper.
Right. I think I've got it all in there.
Good.
There we go.
We'll season this up a little.
I am salivating.
Yeah, so am I. So, right, big chunk.
Yep. All right.
Beautiful. One more little extra bit of lemon juice in there. Give that a stir. Dive in.
Ooh. All right. Oh my God. The excitement.
It's going to be hot.
I know. I can tell. I'm gonna blow on it. Mm.
Mm.
That
I
is
thought you
really
said
good.
you couldn't cook.
Hmm?
Looks amazing.
Yes,
Nice
it's
job.
all me.
All
This
you.
is all me,
All you.
guys.
All you.
Hey, family and friends. Look at that.
Oh my God, it's just dropping off the bone. Absolutely beautiful.
Mm. This is very good. We did a good
In fact,
job.
that's really good.
We did a good job.
Absolutely beautiful.
This
Thank
is
you.
So lovely.
Thank you. And thank you for coming on.
Oh, I loved it.
First guest.
I really enjoyed
That's
it.
amazing.
Yes. I feel so excited. That's fantastic.
Everybody, how do we get in touch with you?
All right. So, best way to get in touch with me is through social media. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram and Twitter. I mostly use Facebook and Instagram. the tag at Herconomics. I think Matt will
Yep, we'll pop up everything.
pop
It'll
that.
be
So at
links, bio,
Herconomics,
whatever. The usual.
and you can either message me on those social
And the
media
Facebook
platforms.
group, what's that
And the
called?
Facebook group is called Herconomics Sisterhood. So Herconomics and then Sisterhood, so 2 separate words.
And that's HERC.
So HERCO. So literally
Oh, you
her and then economics without the E
Okay.
together.
Yeah, there we go. That's
so
easy.
Herconomics. And yeah, Sisterhood. So if you're a lovely lady, come and join us. And for any of the ladies who want to do a course in learning how to trade, to buy shares, I'm going to be running a course soon,
Yep.
starting 4th of July. So for 4 weeks, and it's all Zoom. So yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you once again.
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
been incredible.
No,
And it's
I love
lovely
it.
to hear your story, and thank you for all the advice and information. And
Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for having me.
And
I
keep doing what
absolutely
you're
loved
doing.
it. Thank you so much. You
Yeah.
too. I love
Thank
you.
you.
I love what you're doing. So this is fantastic.
awesome. That's been, I guess, Talking Change. Thank you, everyone. Like we said, everything will be in the bio. So please support Wadzi.
Yes, guys, come support me.
And let's eat.
Yes, finally.
Let's do it.